All right, everybody. Bobby Maximus live. This is something I'm going to be doing regularly. By the way, I'm going to start committing to every Monday at 12 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. That's where I am. I live in Salt Lake City. For people on the East Coast, that's 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're on the West Coast, that's 11 Pacific Standard Time. So every Monday, noon for me. Again, for those of you on the East Coast, 2 p.m. Those of you on the West Coast, 11. I will be going live as I am, and I will be talking about some fitness stuff that I think you can frankly really learn from. If you read the intro to today's show, the fitness world today, it's oversaturated with garbage. Like, frankly, it's become filled with fads, gimmicks, hooks, and all kinds of things where people just frankly try to overcomplicate the process. And it's funny because when I post, and you've probably seen it in my shorts, you've seen it in other posts. When I post that all you have to do is work out, call it 30 minutes a day, eat healthy and sleep, that has become an extremely controversial statement in today's fitness society, if you will, because people are having a hard time believing that it's really just that simple. And it really is. So that's what we're going to talk about today. A few house cleaning things. I always got to go over this. I think it's good creator practice. But the first thing is get your supers in. They help me. They help me make content. If you give me enough supers, frankly, I will come here and start doing lives every single day. So support yourself by supporting me, because you are getting, honestly, the most real fitness knowledge in the industry. Like, I am a regular person. I was a person that, if you don't know me and you want to know a little bit about my background, but I was bullied heavily growing up. I was cut from every sports team I ever tried out for. I was always the last picked on the playground. It wasn't until I was 14 and I got my collarbone broken by some bullies that I joined the wrestling team. And when I joined the wrestling team, I lost every match my first year. I lost 40 straight matches. My second year, I won 1 out of 40 matches. It was literally the greatest moment of my life to that point, to have my arm raised and actually win something. And from there, I found the gym and I started working hard. I started doing more. And I started putting in a lot of effort, frankly. Ben Clerkin coming through with the super, and you've synced for a live, your first one. I'm going to like that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. And I'll get to what this just bought you in a minute. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. These things make, to know that I'm appreciated, it makes these all worthwhile. But anyway, as I started to work out and I started to get better and I started to win, you know what I did? You know what the real secret to my success was? I didn't quit. I showed up and I asked some questions along the way. Like, it's literally, when people say, what's the secret to success? It's literally that simple, but we all want to complicate things and they don't need to be complicated. And so you're also looking at a person that has 3 kids, that has a wife. I do accounting. I'm not an accountant, but I do accounting for my business. I have to do video creation. I have to go live on YouTube. I write programs for people. I've written for Men's Health. I've been published like 200 times. Like, there's a lot of times I'm at a desk like this doing work. And so I'm not that much different than you. And I'm 45 years old and I've never taken a PED and I have never taken a TRT. Like, I'm completely 100% natural. So the advice I'm going to give you is absolutely 100% real. And don't take me. Like, you might look at me and say, oh, he's a genetic freak. He's different. He's obsessed, blah, 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 blah. Take the word of the people I've trained. Like, I've helped thousands of people make life-altering transformations. I've worked with people who are soccer moms, who are stay-at-home dads, who are lawyers, who are accountants, who are bankers. I've also worked with people in the NBA, the NFL, and I've worked with almost every tier 1 asset buy group in the United States military. So if you want real, genuine information, I'm your guy. Like, I'm going to tell you straight. So that's the first thing. So get those supers in. The second thing is, I really want you to answer or ask questions. Like, I really want you to get the information you need. So if you're out there, if you're watching and you have a question, like, is this okay to eat? Is this not okay to eat? Does this workout look good? What should I do for my hamstrings? I'm struggling with sleep. How do I get better sleep? I can help with that, and I can answer your questions. And I would love to. Frankly, these lives when we're answering questions, they go a lot better. They get really organic, and I've got a lot of knowledge to give. And sometimes I don't know what I know, but if you ask me, chances are I got an answer. And I will promise you one more thing as we do these. Hold on, I got to get my shake in. But here's one more thing. If I don't know the answer, I'll just tell you I don't know. I'm not trying to lie to you. I'm not on here trying to look smart. I'll just be like, I have no idea. Go and maybe I can direct you where to go get that information. So now that we're through all that, now we'll talk about the topic today. And the topic today is KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. You know, there's a lot of people who come to me for fitness advice. It happens when I go to parties. It happens when I'm out. It happens when I'm at restaurants. It happens on the internet. Like people look at me, they say, wow, that guy's jacked. That guy's shredded. Like, I got to ask him some questions. And people will ask me the most complicated things at times. But the funny thing is, the person that's asking me that overcomplicated question, they're 30 pounds overweight. The best they can do is work out twice a week. They don't sleep 8 hours a night. And they think that there's some secret that eludes them. There's some secret that they're missing out on. There's some piece of the puzzle that they're not getting. And it's literally like, think about that person I just spoke about. 30 pounds overweight, can barely manage training twice a week and doesn't sleep 8 hours a night. That's not a complication problem. That's not a programming problem. That's not an exercise problem. That's a commitment problem across the board. Like you probably eat like trash. You probably don't work out that hard and you're not dedicated to your sleep. You'd much rather be up late watching Sports Center or another episode of Naked and Afraid or Iron Chef or whatever you watch on TV. By the way, shows that I love, but you're probably more interested in watching that than just going to bed, right? And again, it's not a complicated problem. It's not a knowledge problem. It's just you're not willing to work for it. So today, and this, by the way, happened to me yesterday. People were asking me all kinds of fitness questions. And I was like, guys, just like, how much do you work out a week? Once? Well, if you only work out once a week, you don't get to ask fitness questions. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. It's once a week. I've got my trusty little calculator here. And just to prove this point, let's say you work out 1 day a week. But that's all you're willing to do. So that's 1 out of 7 days. And there's 52 weeks in a year. So you work out 52 days a year. 52 divided by 365. I'm on the calculator. You're literally working out 14.2% of your week. Do you, or your year? Do you really think, like, let's compare this to school. What if your kid came home with a 14% in math? Like, that's not that they're stupid. It's not that they're behind. It's not that they're not good at math. Like, that's literally effort. Like, that is just 100% effort. There's no way around it. They're lazy. Well, now you exercise 2 days a week. You're feeling yourself, right? 2 days a week. That's 104 days a year divided by 365. 28%. You really want to come home with a 28% in school? You want to do a performance appraisal at work and your boss says, yeah, I'd rank you at 28 out of a possible 100. You go to Rotten Tomatoes to look at a movie and it's 28%. Like, you're not watching that. Let's be real. And now you're 3 days a week and you are ultra committed. And the people at the office that you work with, they say, this guy is obsessed with training. This is his whole life. He is hardcore. He's out here training 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. He's getting some. Great. 3 days a week times 52 weeks a year, 156 days. Okay. Out of a possible 365. Great. You're hardcore. You are the best. You are amazing. You know what your score is? 42.7%. Let's round up. You get 43% of your year. 3 days a week. Like, I am sorry you're not committed. I'm not trying to put you down. I'm not trying to take the wind out of your sails. I'm not trying to take the air out of your balloon or whatever people say. But if you're watching this and you're only willing to work out, if you're only willing to exercise, if you're only willing to get some physical activity 3 days a week, you are not committed. You are not committed in the least. I'm sorry. 3 days a week doesn't cover it. The math doesn't lie. It's 42%. And now 4 days a week. 4 days a week, if you hit that 52 weeks a year, it's 208 possible days divided by 365. 4 days a week sounds like a lot. And I know a lot of you are like, man, I'd love to train 4 days a week. You know what your percent is? 56.9, 57%. 5 days a week, 260 days out of the year divided by 365, you're still only 71%. 5 days a week. If you exercise 5 days a week, you are still mid. That's what the kids on this thing say. You are mid. You're average. You're middle of the pack. You're like a low-level B. Like, you really want to be a B player? Is that what you're striving for? When you woke up January 1st, 2024, and you were ready to go, you were ready to get some, it was finally going to be your time. New year, new you, new year, new me. And the best you can do is a mid-level effort of B. So here we are talking about complicated workouts. We're talking about form. We're talking about exercises. We're talking about superfoods. We're talking about all this stuff. And the best you can do is 5 days a week, which gets you a mid-level B effort. That's it. And if that doesn't illustrate my point, I don't know what else is. Maybe you've tuned out by now. This guy's too hardcore. But here's the reality. If you're not willing to move your body every single day, you don't want it. So let's get back to the script. I don't want to lose the plot. Keep it simple. There are 3 ways you're going to accomplish your goal. We're going to end the live with this. So by the way, we got about 4 minutes left. So if you have any questions, get them in now and I will answer them. Maybe we'll go a little bit overtime. If people got some questions, if you want to get those supers in, get them in now. But we are going to talk about the 3 ways that you're going to dominate in 2024 by keeping it super simple. That's it. Keep it simple, stupid. That's the theme of today's live, if you will. I was going to call it a podcast, but it's not a podcast. It's YouTube Live. The number one thing I want you to do is I want you to show up for yourself 30 to 60 minutes a day. You have to do some form of exercise. Notice I said exercise. I didn't say train. I didn't say workout. I didn't say progressive overload. I didn't say 12-3-30, which is a hot format on the internet. I didn't say that you're going to do some VO2 max intervals. I just want you to show up for yourself 30 to 60 minutes a day. That's it. Here's your guiding principle. On days you feel good, on days you have that skip in your step, you have that fire in your belly, you're motivated AF, go hard, crush yourself in the gym. I don't know, try a CrossFit workout, do some MMA. I say that because I was involved in MMA. I fought the UFC and did a bunch of other stuff, but go hard, go nuts. Make yourself throw up, leave in a bucket of sweat. Days you don't feel good, go for a walk. That's it. Put on your headphones, listen to your favorite podcast, your favorite YouTube Live, listen to whatever you want to listen to, and just walk. That's it. Now, I want to talk to you about the value of walking as a side note. Let's say you walked 5 kilometers a day. That's about 3 miles. So you walk 5 kilometers a day. Just walk slow. And you just walked 5K a day every day of the year. That's 1,825 kilometers. I use kilometers because I'm from Canada originally. We divide that by 1.6, and what I'm doing is I'm converting that into miles. So you will accumulate 1,140 miles divided by 26.2, which is your standard marathon. 43.5 marathons for the year. How many marathons have you done this year? None? 1? How many have you done in your life? If you just walked 5K a day, 3 miles a day, by the end of the year, you'd accumulate 43.5 marathons. So yeah, if you are exhausted today, if you went crazy in the weight room yesterday, if you threw yourself onto a fire, you just exposed all your weaknesses, you were sweating, you were throwing up, you're doing the whole thing, and you're sore today, go for a walk. A 5K walk would do wonders for you. Just walk that 30 to 60 minutes while you listen to your favorite, whatever you listen to, music, podcast, show. Like you can watch SportsCenter then. Well, you don't really need to watch Sports Center. You can listen to it. You can walk, looking at your phone, walking on the treadmill or walking outside. That's it. And then if you feel good tomorrow, go hard again. Maybe you go hard 2 days in a row. Maybe you go hard 3 days in a row. Stop worrying about overtraining. You don't train enough or train hard enough to even worry about overtraining. I'm sick and tired of the Mike Menser crowd that's like, hey, you should only train 20 minutes 3 times a week. Everything else is overtraining. No. Michael Phelps was training 1,300 hours a year. That's like 25 hours a week. Most Olympic athletes, if you look at, there's a research report that was done by Steven Seiler. If you look at what most Olympic athletes center around, it's usually 1,000 hours a year training. It's 20 hours a week, every single week. Like, you're not going to overtrain when you're 30 minutes a day, on even an hour a day. That's only 5 hours a week. You're not going to overtrain on that. So stop thinking about it. All I want you to do is show up for yourself 30 to 60 minutes a day. That's all you have to do. Just show up for that 30 to 60 minutes a day. And again, if you feel great, go hard, smash it, get some, do the whole Jocko Willink thing, right? Wake up at 4:30. Awesome. Do the David Goggins thing. Great. Like, just push yourself. And on days that you don't, you really just don't want to do anything, just have enough commitment, have enough self-respect, have enough love for yourself to just go for a walk. So that's number 1. Now, number 2, I want you to eat healthy. Now, we can get into all kinds of complicated stuff. Weighing, measuring, macronutrients. We can get into all that, but I don't even want you to pay attention to that. I want you to pay attention to a simple principle. It's the 90-10 principle. 90% of the time, you eat food that's completely non-processed. You got to be able to kill it, murder it, and cook it over a fire. So you're basically eating meat, like red meat, chicken, fish. You're not having fish sticks. You're not boiling it in oil. You got to be cooking over at a fire. So you're not having chicken wings unless they're baked or something, cooked over a fire or a grill or a pan or something like that, right? But you got to be able to kill it, or you got to be able to pluck it from a tree and eat it in its natural state. So can you take an avocado from an avocado tree and eat it? Yes. Can you eat a banana like that? Yes. Can you eat an apple like that? Yes. Can you eat berries like that? Yes. Can you have spinach or arugula like that? Yes. But you can't have a potato because you got to cook it to eat it. You're not having guacamole. I don't care if it's made from homemade ingredients. There's no guacamole tree. There's no ice cream tree. There's no bread tree. There's no pizza tree. There's no olive oil tree. In fact, olives are okay because you need an olive, but olive oil, yeah, I wouldn't eat that. Peanut butter or walnut butter, right? Like the walnuts are fine because you can find those foraging in the woods, but not butter. You're not meant to consume things in those quantities. So 90% of the time, that's how you eat. 10% of the time now, you can eat processed food, but it has to be from clean ingredients. So then, yes, you can have the guacamole, provided it's made from jalapenos or habaneros, avocados, maybe a little bit of lime juice, maybe some tomato, maybe some onion, maybe some cilantro. Great. All natural, real ingredients that fall into that 90% category. But now they combine to make the guacamole. That can be in your 10%. The olive oil can be in your 10%. Olive oil is not bad for you. Walnut butter can be in your 10%. Real 100% food. You want ice cream? You can have some ice cream in the 10%, but it's got to be made from clean ingredients. I'd recommend it. They don't pay me. I wish they did. But Haagen-Dazs vanilla, cane sugar, cream, egg yolk, and real vanilla. That's it. Don't go get one of those brands with 19 million ingredients, all right? So follow the 90-10 rule. 90% of the time, it is completely 100% non-processed. 10% of the time, you can have a little bit of fun. You can have a little bit of processed food, but it's still got to be made from the highest quality, best of the best ingredients. That's the second rule you're going to follow. The third thing, I want you to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night in a completely blocked environment. Just get more sleep. And listen, I know it's not fun. If you got to be waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning, if that's when your alarm goes off, and I've actually built my life about not waking up to an alarm clock because I go to bed early enough. But if you got to be up at 7, I want you to in bed about 10:30. So you get those 8 hours, right? If you got to be up at 6, well, that pushes you to 9:30. You got to be up at 5. That pushes you to like 8:30. I've got a half-hour wiggle room in there for you mathers. It goes 8.5 hours. I'm just giving you a little bit of a room. Like if you have to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you should be laying in your bed at 9 at night. Even if you're not sleeping for that long, like get in bed and recharge your batteries. So what? You couldn't watch the football game last night. So what? You can't watch Naked and Afraid or Iron Chef or Next Level Chef or Top Chef or like whatever you're watching. I use food shows because I love them, right? But just get your sleep in a completely blacked out environment. That means no light whatsoever. Get some blackout curtains. Spend a Saturday at the Lowe's or the Home Depot or whatever. Get some blackout curtains, put them up. If you can do those 3 things, if you can just exercise every single day for 30 to 60 minutes a day, every day, 7 days a week. On days that you feel great, go hard. On days that you don't, go for a walk. Number 2, you eat that 90-10 diet and you just really make sure that 90% is nothing processed at all. And the 10% you can have a little fun, but it's from great ingredients. And you sleep 8 hours. I'm not even going to say 8, 7 to 8 hours a night in a completely blacked out environment. If you can do that for 90 straight days, 90, 2 things will happen. 1, no matter who you are, you will make a radical change in your body. I promise you that. Even some high-level athletes could benefit from this advice. I know a lot of high-level athletes, guys that have played in the highest professional leagues in the world, people in the Olympics that aren't that careful with their diet or they screw up on the sleep, the training they got, but the other stuff is kind of not great. But if you can do that for 90 days, you will see a huge change. The next thing, then you can ask some complicated questions. Like if you can demonstrate that commitment, people talk about 75 hard, 75 days, right? One of the best things about that program from a guy named Andy Frisella is that you learn a lot about yourself. Like I don't even call it a fitness program. I call it a mental strength training program because if you can stick to that for 75 days, and I say 90, if you can stick to this plan for 90 days, then you can start asking complicated questions. What's a good exercise for bench press? What's a good exercise for hamstring curls? What can I do for my diet? What's a good superfood? Blah, 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 blah. 90 days. So that's your challenge. Let's exercise every day. Let's eat that 90-10 diet. Let's sleep 7 to 8 hours a night for 90 days. We will keep it simple, and then we can get complicated. So this has been Alive with Bobby Maximus. Don't forget, get your supers in, subscribe, get those notifications turned on. I will be going every Monday live at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We'll learn together. You can go to my community page and put questions. I will be doing questions and answers for some of these. So get your questions in advance. I will design some of the content around them. And then finally, Ben, thank you for the super. I really appreciate it. You made my day. Hopefully you learned a lot. And all I want you to do is be committed, and honestly live your best life. This can change your life 100%. Fitness will make you better in every health and wellness will make you better in every single aspect of your life. So thank you. Thank you for the support. I love you all. Start today. 90 days. Let's go.